Okay, I just sort of hit the live button without thinking. So you are live,
We're ready to go.
but this is all that anybody's gonna see. Okay,
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Athens-Clarke County Board of Elections and Voting. Special call meeting. The time is 4:38 p.m. We are at 2555 Lexington Road in Athens, Georgia. First item on the agenda is to adopt the agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt. Okay, motion, Ms. Pambro. Do we have a second? Second, Ms. Till. All those in favor of adopting the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Agenda is adopted. Next item on the agenda is public comment. The way public comment will work is I'll read your name. You'll have 3 minutes to say what you'd like. Just a reminder for everyone to be kind and courteous to each other, and it's a time for you to talk to us. It's not a two-way. So the first person listed on my list here is Sydney Waters, and I will. Oops, I just alarm for 3 in the morning, which is not what we. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Ms. Waters, if you're ready, you can begin.
I'm Sydney Waters. I'm here today because y'all are discussing whether or not I can put my nickname Mama Sid on the ballot. When I walked in the door, people were saying, "Hello, Mama Sid." Hello, Mama Sid. Very few people actually know that my name is Sydney. When we opened the store, my son's friends said that they nicknamed me that many years before, and they named the store. And people thought, well, I'm the mama and Jim's the Sid. You know, they really didn't know where it came from. But I just want to ask you to consider that because I am known as Mama Sid. I've been called that since 1981 when my son's friends nicknamed me that, and Papa became Papa Sid. And as I have read in the rules, it says that you can use nicknames of any kind. I'm not going to read that statute to you because you know it very well. I just ask you to please allow me to use my name on the ballot. I have had many people say you should have put it on as Mama Sid Waters, you know, because that's what everybody thinks you are. And my current tag has said Mama Sid. It has said Mama Sid ever since 1983. And my son, I have all of our tags here. My husband was Toss Sid. My son was Sid, which is what all of his friends nicknamed him. And my daughter, who was then in middle school, became Kid Sid. She was that until she became a teacher, and she said, you know, it doesn't look good for me to have Kid Sid on my tag when I'm trying to be a teacher and be an adult. So I just ask you to please consider that, and I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Next person on the list is Carol Myers. Go ahead.
As a resident and voter in Sydney Waters at home, a very nice lady, we both agree we're very nice. I was surprised last night to stumble across a Facebook post urging people to write to you all in support of adding Mama Sid to the ballot with Sydney Waters' name and who run for district 8 commissioner. I quickly looked up the state law on this and was surprised that the question is actually even being debated. The state law 183.111 seems to make it clear, and I'm quoting, a candidate's name may include a nickname by which the candidate is commonly known in the community, but shall not contain any spurious phrases, title, or degrees designating the business, fraternal, religious, or professional affiliation of the candidate or political slogan or message. Mama Sid's is a business name. I passed a business for 4 years and would frequent it with my girls where they read them. Mama Sid is not the same name that Sydney Waters uses on her Facebook page. It's not the name she used when she identified herself at the mayor and commission meeting on March 5th. A nickname like Bubba is used as an example in the Facebook post I saw to prove that Miss Waters should be able to use Mama Sid. But Bubba is a term of endearment formed from the word brother. It's not formed from a business name, which state law precludes from using. And why is that? As a candidate, one gains credibility by who one is and what we've accomplished. I have a doctorate and was an Athens Tech faculty member and then dean. Sydney Waters is a well-known local businesswoman who ran Mama Sid's with her husband for years and years, and as we've decided, a very nice woman. We can include that information in our campaign literature, but we can't bring that campaign literature into the polling places. Georgia state law prohibits candidates from campaigning with 150, as you all know. And that is why Georgia's putting one's business name in the middle of your name on the ballot itself is why Georgia state law prohibits such things. I'm not a lawyer, but I did teach English and reading, and the law seems pretty clear to me. I can ask to include doctor or dean with my name, and Sydney Waters cannot add her business name, Mama Sid. Please use the law when you make your decision and don't decide on the number of emails received. Thank you.
You? Okay. The next person on the list is Karen Jim.
Hi, I'm Karen Dunn.
Let me,
Oh, yeah.
Karen Dunn.
No worries.
Let me start the time. Go ahead.
I'm Karen Dunn, 345 Athens-Clarke Lane. I was reading, I'm going to repeat a little bit of what Carol just said, just that I saw the regulations as well, that certainly you can have a nickname, but not if it's a business name. And everything I've seen, I know when Miss Waters was on the Board of Education, she went by Sydney Waters. That was for 12 years, never using Miss Mama Sid's. And also most recently, the yard signs for the campaign, they say Mama Sid on them with icons of pizza, also with a tagline that said fresh slice or District 8. So it's already being promoted as a connection to the business. I know when Ms. Waters has been giving public comment to the commissioners, because she's introduced herself as Sydney Waters. So I would just like to see that the Georgia regulations, the 183-1-11.02, just the appearance of candidates' name on the ballot cannot, it precludes any use of the business name. So I would just urge to follow the regulations as they apply to everybody.
Okay, next person on the list is Jacqueline Wilson.
Yeah, Billy Ellsner, I'm 315 Caldwell Circle. And I've been a neighbor of Sydney Waters since my family moved here in 1988. So, but I am referencing Georgia law. On that. And Sydney is still a business partner of the Mama Sid's franchise. She's listed as the secretary of Mama Sid's in the business reporting for her station. So you can't use your business name. You are naming yourself as a candidate. I ask you to not allow.
Thank you. Okay, the next person is Ross Watson.
My name is Ross, and I appreciate your time today. I'm here to speak on behalf of what I observed when I was going around the neighborhoods in the last couple of weeks. I've only been here 8 years. I don't know the background of Mama Sid. Only know her as Mama Sid, and involved with her a couple times in organizations. And up till I saw her sign, did I know that her first name was Sydney. And as I walked around and I talked to people, I'll tell you exactly what I was doing. I was trying to get them to sign petitions. Okay? And was talking to them, and I learned a lot about Mama Sid. Mainly, that's what they called it. very instrumental in community, very loved by the children, worked in the school district. He's got a lot of qualities, but we're not talking about qualities, we're talking about a technicality here regarding what's going to be on the ballot and who knows her by what. And I can just tell you from experience, I know her as Mama said, and that's what they refer to her. And you have to be at the discussion about being, her name being Cindy, they still refer to her. Just the conversation is Mama said. I think you have a difficult decision in front of you. She's a solid pillar of the community, and she is known as Mama said. Thank you.
Okay. Sure. Charles, or Charlene, perhaps I should learn from you.
Okay, right, sorry, I'm a teacher.
All right, that's fine. You can begin when you want.
Thank you. Good afternoon, I'm Charlene Woodham Brickman, PhD. I'm a business owner and property owner in District 8. The law seems clear that a business name, religion, etc. cannot be used on the ballot. In my professional world, students and colleagues refer to me by Dr. B. 500 students at the moment. However, if I ran for office, according to state law 183, I would not be allowed to be on the ballot as Dr. B, or even to use my business name of Recess and Play LLC on the ballot. It seems to reek of a publicity stunt, honestly, and devalues our electoral process. In a day when politics are often seen as a dog and pony show, I ask that applicants not to put that stuff.
The final person listed in front of me is Sean Waters.
Sorry. Never spoke before. I'm here, I'm Mama Sid's son. I call her Mama Sid versus Mom. I'm here, she asked me to come speak to y'all on her behalf, saying the story of how she got the name Mama Sid, which began when I was in 1980 in the 8th grade, when boys are kind of mean to one another and start the your mama jokes and whatever. And they found out my mom's name on a report card on the teacher desk one day. And instead of telling, your mama jokes or whatever, my jokes became Sydney jokes and calling her Sydney and making fun of calling me Sydney and whatever. And at the house, and it started before that. When we moved here, my parents have always been Mama or Papa. They've never been Mr. and Mrs. Waters. My house was always the house for the kids to come to. You didn't have to have feet clean. You could put your feet up on the sofa, and snacks were over here, and don't knock, just come on in, and it was the hangout. So they learned not to call them Mr. and Mrs. Waters. It was Mom or Papa. They make fun of me and my southern drawl was Mama. And once in 8th grade, they started calling me Sydney and whatnot. My closer friends started calling me Sid as a nickname. They're like, it just suits you or whatever. And since my mom's name was Mama and my dad was Papa, they started calling her Mama Sid and started calling her Papa Sid, which is just a way to refer. And then 1983 rolls along and we decided to open the business. And for a year there, it was still called Express Pizza. And everybody's like, well, you got to change the name. It's not going to be that. What are you going to change it to? And it's like, well, why not Mama Sid? It sounds Italian, even though. But that was, that was how we did it. We called it Mama Sid's Express Pizza for another year after that, just to keep a relationship there. I think what y'all are having to decide, I understand that the law is, the business name can't be on there. But she was, if it's your nickname before the law, before you create a business, is it your nickname or is it your business name? So that would be the way you're going to have to look at it. I can see it both ways. But she was Mama Sid for 3 years before the business ever existed. And take that into consideration for whatever it's worth. That's what we call it, Mama Sid, and everybody knows her that way. Great, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else wishing to make comment? Hearing none. So the first item of business under new business was listed as candidates request to change name listed on ballot Sydney Waters, Commission District 8. The chair will open the floor to any board member that wishes to go first. For any comments or questions they have, then we'll go from there. You want to go first? All right.
I'm one of those folks who also knew Mama Sid's as to who she was long before I found out her real name. Like most of you, took my daughter and her friends there for pizza. I went there to watch the magic tricks, the card tricks. And so when I saw the request, I said, it's obvious, it should be Mama Sid. I had a roommate back in college at Florida State. He was from Texas. His name was Bob. He ran for something and he called himself Bob Tex, last name. I said, we have a discretion here to make a change or to be able to judge on it. And it's straightforward until, of course, our attorney's office sent us this note that we cannot utilize a business name. Now, I totally believe that this is Miss Waters' nickname. I do not have a question about that. I believe the business was based on that. Actually, it was one of my neighbors who I was discussing this with last night, pointed out, what if there was someone by the name of Weaver Daniels who was running for an office? And they decided to put on the name on the ballot as Weaver D. Daniels. People who are going to vote for Miss Daniels are going to vote for her. People who are not going to vote for her are not going to vote for her. But there are going to be people who do not know either candidates. And I think that name Mama Sid just kind of, because it's such a well-known business name, it's an institution on the east side, if not the entire Athens. I just feel it just gives a slight disadvantage to that, to the candidate. I mean, it is a nickname. It's a difficult decision, but it is, as the law says, we shouldn't have a business name, and it does give that candidate a slight advantage, which I'm not comfortable with, but I'm willing to hear what my colleagues here have to say.
What would the actual ballot say?
Sorry.
What would the actual ballot say if it were counted? I don't see this on.
Director, could you answer that
If
question?
it
for
was
Sam?
changed on prior,
No.
Sydney, quotes, Mama Sid, Waters.
Is that within the 25 allowed characters? It is.
It's 24, actually.
That's one of the other minor details.
I was concerned.
Oh, it's 24. Sandra, did you have any? We can come back. Wait, okay, that's fine. Mr. Shirley.
I am what I'm convinced, like Mr. Kadir, that the nickname predates the business name. And I am thankful for the clarification we've been given as far as the state election board rule about this. But I'm also, like section 2, I'm seeing but shall not contain, as we've heard quoted, connections to the business affiliation of the candidate. If this were a question of Sydney Sid Waters, different story to me. If the business name on the Secretary of State's Corporations Division were not Mama Sid's Incorporated, might be a different story. If it were Mama Sid's Pizzeria or Mama Sid's Pizza, then, but it just, to me, it's just, they're too close. I echo the sentiment about it blurring the line too much, understanding that clearly the personal nickname predates the business. They're too intertwined now, as far as what I'm hearing. I'm not comfortable with that, the appearance that gives on the ballot. I just, yeah, that's where I'm at right now with it.
One thing, I did have a question for the attorneys. Can we clarify what the SEB rule is versus a statute or a law? Is there a difference? And from like a legal perspective, whereas law, you have to, there's a penalty versus.
I would say that is that the SC state election board rule has my personal perspective on it has the authority. But it is not a statute. They are distinct.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify because I hear people maybe using the two terms interchangeably. So just so that is clear. I also am given pause by this whole thing because of what Mr. Shirley and Mr. Kadir have previously mentioned. The ties to the business name are just a little too close for my comfort in this. It just think that folks that know her already know her as that and will cast their votes accordingly as they choose. The other thing is, which was mentioned, is the Secretary of State's corporation registration is as Mama Sid. That Mama Sid's Inc., I believe is what it says. Yeah, so it's just a little too close for me. I understand that we have a difficult decision to make, but that's all I have for now. Still. Or.
I think everybody knows her as Mama Sid, whether she ran a business. So I see the distinction that Santa Claus, whether he has toy store or not, he's still Santa Claus. Mama Sid is still Mama Sid, whether she has a business or not. That's been her name, her nickname. She's been named to schools, to where she works as Mama Sid. It's not as though she invented that name to make her business sound more Italian or more homey because it's mommy. She's Mama Sid. And I think it would be, the rules here say if her name was Bunny or Benny or any other affectionate name, because that's her nickname, she could use it. So I don't think that we should punish her because her name is Mama Sid's and they named the business after she was already known as Mama Sid.
Any other board member wish to make any more comments or questions of?
Talking to a friend who had qualified. And I was reading off the names and I said, Sydney Waters. So that name sounds so familiar. And the person told me, Mama Sid. I said, oh, okay, all right. But in no time to be associated with pizza. So I'm looking at it on that account that I really don't associate her with pizza. I associate with her with Mama Sid. And if she wants to put pizza in there, I would, no, can't do that. But it is, it's left up to our discretion to weigh the concerns and things like unfair advantage. You might just say that person that is in office now has an unfair advantage. But that's not true. It might appear to be an advantage, the incumbent, but that's not necessarily true. So I'm feeling on the other side of the coin with this.
So, floor is open. If any member wishes to make a motion, word it as you feel necessary, and then we can vote based on how it's worded. whatever you. Well, the motion could be to allow the nickname to be added onto the ballot or to not allow and we just vote. Just clarify what a yes means and what a no means before we vote.
I'd like to make a motion that Mom Sid, who's known for the last 30 years, I've been university, clean this up, that she renames this Mama Sid to the people that she's known, to the people that have loved her. And whether she's running for office or not, doesn't mean that she's no longer Mama Sid, because most people don't know her as Sydney. So I would vote that we allow her to run in District 8 and serve the people in 8 if they so vote to elect her.
My parliamentary inquiry into that is, what is the motion? Because we're already, she's met the criteria to
Cancel
run.
yes. How does it sound?
Hold on one second. Met the criteria to run ballot. So we're not disallowing or allowing her to be on the ballot. United States citizen, registered voter, all the other criteria that's necessary.
My
But
secretary.
yeah, go ahead.
A motion by Ms. Till to approve the request to change the name listed on the ballot to Sydney Mama Sid Waters. You did. I heard it. That's why I typed it.
So we need a second and then we can discuss and then we'll vote. Okay. So motion, Ms. Till, second, Ms. Fambro. Is there any further discussion? Yes.
I'll point out in case any of my colleagues are persuadable on this still. Something I forgot to mention earlier was she served the community for many years on the school board. And my understanding, I could be wrong. My understanding is she was Sydney Waters or Sydney Ann Waters on that ballot, not Sydney Mama Sid Waters. I would think, had that been the case, had she been Sydney Mama Sid Waters back then, absolutely. Precedent, let's go with that. But for me, that right there shows once again, she had no problem winning office, getting name recognition with her birth name, not with the name that people associate with her. So in case anyone is not yet decided fully on that, I want to contribute that.
You? Anybody else?
Well, I'm just.
So hold on. Ms.
Sorry.
Fambro had her hand up.
Because everybody changes their mind. I probably changed my mind 2 million times since 2004. You know, how I want to represent myself or how I want to appear to people. So I would say that that would not be a consideration, but my, what would say it would not be a consideration for me because the people change, you know, they increase and they decrease.
I do understand the idea of nicknames. Many people or most people in town, since I started doing civic work, call me Hank, and I totally get this. It's not an easy decision. It's not an easy vote, and it can mean a few votes could go either way. I don't think that association, whether her name is on the Secretary of State, that matters that much. And I do agree with Ms. Fambro. What happened in 2000 or in the past, not sure that applies, but I am persuaded by the attorney who sent us the.
Just remind you that it's attorney-client privilege.
Right.
Document.
Well,
So-
yeah, I'm just talking about the board rule that has been presented there. That business name should not be there, and I just can't shake off the fact that it is a business name that people are familiar with. Don't know how many votes it will or it will not move about. That's the difficult part for me. So I gotta go against the motion for right now.
So last chance for comments. Ms. Fambro has the last word.
Yeah. You guys keep from the ex-business, because she says she's retired, is Mama Sid's Pizza. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. He wants to put Mama Sid. She does not want to put Mama Sid pizza on the ballot.
Two things I'll point out there, the comment I made earlier, that the rule also goes on to say that there shall only be 25 characters, and what we're talking about would be 24. So pizza would not be allowed at all. And you made a previous point, and I've lost my train of thought on that. Apologize. Oh, I know what I've got it now. So the filing paperwork did say retired, but on the Secretary of State Corporation page, she is listed as an officer. So that to me means some type of interest in the company, whether it's retired and not working or ownership. So just another piece to think about. But I think at this point, if the secretary would read the motion. Hold on one second. After I'm done, and then secretary read the motion, we'll clarify what a yes vote means and what a no vote means. Then we'll vote.
Might be too late for this, but what is supposed to read on the public comments that we received?
Attorney, could you address that?
Yeah, there's no requirement.
Oh, okay.
And I would.
There was just an exception during the COVID emergency or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And that was just a.
Oh. Okay. Would you go ahead and read the motion again, please?
Yes, sir. The motion on the floor by Ms. Till, seconded by Ms. Bamber, is to approve the request to change the name listed on the ballot to Sydney Mama Sid Waters.
So correct me if I'm wrong, a yes vote means we will be putting Mama Sid on the ballot. No vote means that it will remain as filed and as is it currently is. Do you understand that? Okay. So all those in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed, say no. No. Okay. It appears as though the motion has failed. Two yes and 3 no votes. So, go. Next item on the agenda is the discussion regarding candidate challenge request for tax commissioner candidate JP LeMay. Director. Yes.
Because at this point, there's no motion is passed. And so therefore, our business is going to do it. Does that make sense? So-
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it would be ideal to have the.
Thank you for the clarification. Thank you for that music interlude. That's appreciated. All right, back to business here. We'll go back to item 1. The floor is open for another motion. If someone would like to make a motion, we'll take a vote.
I move to deny the request to change the name listed on the ballot to Sydney Mama Sid Waters.
Do we have a second for that? I will go ahead and second that. The chair is a voting member of this board. So the motion is on the floor again. Will you read it one more time?
Motion to deny the request to change the name listed on the ballot.
Okay. And motion by Mr. Shirley, second by Mr. Raffle. A yes vote means no name on the ballot.
No name change.
No name change, excuse me. Definitely have the name on the ballot, thank you. And a no vote means that we would add the nickname to the ballot. So As long as everyone understands, we will call for a vote. So all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Two opposed, okay, that motion does pass. Okay. All right, on to the second business item, which is discussion regarding candidate challenge request for tax commissioner candidate JP LeMay. We've been advised to keep the discussion at minimal. So I'm actually, do you mind, Director, would you just give us a little timeline of where we are and what we're gonna do moving forward? And I think that's all the action we're going to take.
How we got here.
Yeah.
On March 22nd, the Elections Department received a challenge letter from Mr. Brent Spratland, challenging the qualification for JP LeMay, candidate for tax commissioner. And 21-2-6 states that upon receiving a written challenge, the board shall conduct a hearing. Both the challenger, Mr. Spratland, and the candidate being challenged, Mr. LeMay, have been informed of the hearing. That requesting for your approval to conduct that hearing on Monday, April the 1st. And that hearing would take place here at the Facilities Management Building, right here located at 2555 Lexington Road. Just requesting that hearing be conducted on April 1st. I want to remind you that this is due to the proving process of the ballot, and April 1st will meet the timeline. It is kind of a push, but we're bumping right up against the UOCAVA ballot overseas the military mailing. And it's necessary that we conduct this hearing and confirm the slate of the candidates.
What was the time? 4:30 again? Any board member have a work for the director attorney? Basically, logistics. Is that meeting on today?
I will not be here. Still have.
Yep, I will be here. You'll be here. All right. Attorney, does that satisfy the requirement for the? Thank you. Next item on the agenda are announcements. Mr. Secretary, would you go ahead and read those and let's just make sure we report the one we just talked about Monday.
Sure. Monday, April the 1st, 2555 Lexington Road at 4:30 p.m. Special meeting for candidate challenge hearing. Tuesday, April the 9th, 120 West Doherty Street, 4:30 p.m. April regular meeting. Monday, April the 22nd is the last day to register to vote in time for the May election, and the first day absentee ballots may be mailed out for the May election. Monday, April 29th, advance voting begins for the May election. Friday, May the 10th, last day to request absentee ballot for the May election, and Tuesday, May 21st is the last day to vote in the May election.
This meeting is at 4:30.
This location.
Yeah.
Does that work for you? What? This building, 2555 Lexington Road.
Everyone knows
Georgia.
I end up wrong places once in a while.
Let me tell
All
you.
right. Adjourn. Motion been favor, do we have a second? Second, Ms. Hill. Meeting is adjourned.